Greetings, friends. Today we'll be discussing a complex issue that holds significant relevance in our increasingly interconnected world: the preservation of cultural authenticity amidst the challenges posed by dominant cultural influences in our globalized era. Our journey takes us back to the past, where we'll draw examples from the early modern period, the Renaissance, and the Islamic trade with India during the Middle Ages. So, cultural authenticity is the preservation of unique traditions, customs, languages, and arts that characterize a particular group or society. Its importance cannot be overstated, as it significantly contributes to the rich tapestry of global diversity. However, in an era of globalization, maintaining this authenticity is becoming increasingly difficult. The early modern period witnessed the Columbian Exchange, an extensive interchange of plants, animals, ideas, diseases, and of course cultural practices between the New and Old worlds. Two prime examples of America's influence on Europe, and by extension the globe, are the introduction of new crops and the impact of indigenous art. First, new crops native to the Americas, such as potatoes, corn, and tomatoes, revolutionized European and subsequently global agriculture and cuisine. The potato became a staple in Ireland and parts of Eastern Europe, fundamentally altering their diets. Tomatoes, initially met with suspicion, became integral to Italian cuisine, forever changing the culinary landscape. These New World crops not only helped to mitigate food scarcity issues in Europe, but also significantly diversify global diets, thereby culturally influencing food practices worldwide. For example, can we imagine Italian cuisine without the American tomato? Secondly, indigenous American art had a significant influence on European art. Artifacts and artistic styles brought back from the New World intrigued European artists and inspired a new direction in their work. European understanding of perspective, form, and color were challenged and enhanced by these artistic interactions. Indigenous motifs and symbols also found their way into European art, contributing to a development of a more diverse artistic vocabulary. One example involves the exchange between European artists and Aztec artists. The example of the Codex Mendoza, created around 1541, is a fascinating document of this interaction. Commissioned by Antonio de Mendoza, the Viceroy of New Spain, the Codex was illustrated by indigenous artists under the supervision of Spanish clerics. While the Codex contains traditional Aztec pictograms, there's a clear influence of European artistic conventions like linear perspective and shading in some illustrations. European artists, in turn, were intrigued by Aztec iconography with its detailed symbolic representations of the Aztec culture. Now, while European art of the 1500s and 1600s was not characterized by widespread direct adoption of Aztec iconography, there were instances where the contact with the New World and its cultures influenced European artistic output. One specific example can be found in the realm of cartography and illustration. A remarkable instance is the map of Tenochtitlan from the 1524 Nuremberg Chronicle by Hartmann Schneider. This map shows the city of Tenochtitlan, the Aztec capital, and although the overall aesthetic and representation follows European standards, the presence of Aztec temples and canals, as well as depictions of local flora and fauna, indicates a direct influence of Aztec culture and knowledge. These examples underscore the significant influence of the Americas on European and global cultural landscapes during the early modern period. Reflecting on these historical periods, we observe that cultural exchange and influence are natural and often beneficial aspects of the human interaction. They become problematic when they lead to cultural homogenization, erasure of indigenous cultures, or societal conflict. So, how do we safeguard cultural authenticity? There are several practical ways you can contribute. Promoting cultural education. The first step towards preserving cultural authenticity is understanding and appreciating its value. Encourage cultural education in your community. This can take the form of organizing or attending cultural events, participating in discussions about cultural heritage, or sharing knowledge about different cultures on social media. By fostering an environment that values and respects cultural diversity, we can help prevent the erosion of cultural authenticity. 2, supporting indigenous and local art. Buying art, crafts, or products directly from indigenous or local artists helps support their livelihood and allows cultural traditions to be passed down through generations. This can also involve supporting cultural tourism that respects and benefits local communities or advocating for policies that protect cultural heritage. 3, mindful consumption. In our globalized world, it's easy to consume aspects of different culture without understanding their context or significance. Practice mindful consumption learning by learning about traditions, arts, and practices behind what you consume. You should be aware of issues related to cultural appropriation and seek to appreciate rather than to appropriate. By applying these principles, each person can play a part in maintaining the vibrant diversity of cultural identities in our increasingly connected world. Thank you.